Hey, how you doing? Today we're going to do a quick run through of a recent photo shoot that I did with singer-songwriter Nichole Wagner. Now these are some of the images that we shot that day, and how did this come about? Like a lot of these photo shoots do for me. I just put the word out that I'm looking for some new faces for some upcoming projects, and people contacted me. Nichole was one of those people. I took a look at some of her stuff online and decided that I wanted to work with her. So that's how something like this comes together. This is a great way, if you want to put some casual shoots together, this is a great way to do it. There's no pressure for your subject. There's no pressure for you as the photographer. There might be a little nervousness, but you work through that. It's always that way when you're working with someone new. But this is just a great way to get together and do something artistic with another artist, another collaborator. In my case, I like working with musicians and other artists, so it's really a good fit. And what does your subject get out of it? Well, she might just want some cool photos. She might want some new publicity photos, or just something for herself, or she just might want to gain some experience in front of the camera. What do you get out of it? You might want to try some new techniques or some new ideas that you've got rolling around in your head. Either way, this is a great way to do some networking, because you're working with somebody who might just have a great experience with you and want to refer you to some of the people that they know. Same for you. I know that I've been a point of contact for other musicians. When I know one musician, I know another, and I figure, hey, I might as well introduce these two because they might work well together. That's happened more often than you might think. So yeah, this is a great way to introduce people, make those new connections. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at these pictures. Now, I actually started out with two lights. I had, you know, when someone's coming over initially, I want to have some kind of minimal lighting set up, just something to start off with so I can just get them in there and we can just get rolling right away. Now, there's always a little rapport building. We're going to get into that in a few minutes, but let's just take a quick look at one or two of the pictures, the original setup that I had going. Now you'll know in a video or two back that I was talking about this one fabric backdrop that I like to use with the pleats. So I actually already had that set up. I just left it up there, and I set up one flash up near the corner to sort of give that background an accent light, and then I just used one light set up for Nichole herself. And so we tried a few of those, and to be honest with you, I can't tell you exactly why, but things just weren't working, and sometimes you've got to just go with your gut. I mean, I'm a big believer in pushing through something and finding your way, but sometimes you just know that it's more of a fight than it needs to be. The background just wasn't meshing with Nichole and the outfit that she was wearing, at least not for the look that I wanted. So we moved quickly past that, and I just took down that fabric and that background light. I just basically decided to simplify the whole thing, which is it always seems to be a good idea. Just simplify it. I pulled that fabric, went with the one light, and we just took off from there. So let me go ahead and describe that setup to you. You can probably see for yourself. I just took that backdrop off. I threw it on the floor. I said, you know, if nothing else, it'll be an interesting fabric on the floor. I replaced it with my typical thunder gray, narrow, seamless background paper, and just kind of left everything like that. Just kind of left it bare looking, and even included the setup in the shots, in the wider shots. I will do that sometimes. I really didn't want to take a long time warming up. This was supposed to be a quick photo shoot. I just wanted to make some fast decisions, execute, and move on to the next sequence. So that's what we did. We started off just by having fun, just by loosening up a little bit. This is where things started getting interesting, and this happens a lot. You find your flow, and then you start wanting to try new things out. And I asked Nichole to just kind of toss her hair back and forth, and I would try to catch moments where it looked like something interesting was happening. And so you can see in this first shot, it's got that interesting combination of sort of serenity and movement. And actually, she was just tossing her hair. And that's probably more obvious with this shot, which is a powerful looking shot. We've gotten a lot of good comments about this one. But you can see this is a movement shot. Her earrings are kind of flying off and her hair is kind of swooping up under her neck. But it's a real, I don't know, it's almost a Wonder Woman shot to me. That's the feeling that I get when I see this image. And there are some other ones. Now, one of the things that I started doing back when I was doing a lot of commercial boudoir work, I used to do this thing where I'd have my client sort of bring her hair over her face and bring her head down like this, and then slowly bring it back up and shake her hair out a little bit, and use the fan to kind of work that wind through her hair. And then I'd catch these moments where she's looking directly at the camera usually, and it would have this really neat kind of wild look. And so I do that sometimes, and I did that with Nichole, as you can see here, and I think we got some pretty cool shots out of that. Now, not everyone likes this look. I happen to be one of those people who kind of likes the wild hair look. Not everyone likes it. I've had some clients who just absolutely can't stand anything if every single hair is not perfectly in place, and I've had other ones who just want to go crazy with it. So it kind of depends on the person. Okay, now a lot of my shots are done later in the day, but we did this a little earlier than I'm used to, and I had some good window light for once. So I said, hey, why don't you go ahead and just put the posing stool in front of the window, have a seat, and let's see what we can get with that. And again, this, all of these are one light shots, and in this case, the one light was the daylight through the window. So we've got window light working for us, and I used a very shallow depth of field. Let me see, what was I using here? 1.8. I think this lens that I was using, see, this lens opens up to 1.4. So I was almost wide open. I wanted to get that real shallow depth of field going. Now, the background that you see behind her is a white wall, and if you've seen enough of these videos, you know that you can take a white wall and get any shade of gray or even black depending on the light fall off that you're working with. And so I think we got some pretty nice photos out of this. There were several of these window light shots. Some of them were a little more serene or contemplative, and some of them were a little more smiley and laughing. But I told you we'd be talking a little bit about rapport. And it's very important to the success of a shoot like this, especially if you're working with someone new. I mean, the subject's coming over, meeting you for the first time. They're in an unfamiliar environment, and they're about to be up front and center in front of your camera. So there's always a little bit of that initial nervousness or apprehension. So rapport is very important. Talk a little bit before the shoot. Find some common ground. Be friendly. Get to know the other person. Ask them about themselves and tell them a little bit about yourself. And even as the shoot is progressing, keep the communication going, because photographers, we can tend to get quiet when we're really concentrating on what we're doing. No, you've got to keep the lines of communication going. You've got to keep talking. Stay upbeat, be friendly, and make sure that she's comfortable and feeling confident. And that'll take you a long way with any portrait shoot. Hey, I hope you're taking the advice that I offer in several of my videos when it comes to finding and working with new faces. I'll put links to some of those videos in the description below, so go ahead and check those out when you get a chance. Hey, thanks for hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed our little run through of our photo shoot with Nichole Wagner. If you did, go ahead and click that like button. Let me know that you liked this video. If you haven't already, go ahead and click subscribe and leave me a comment. Let me know how you find new people to work with. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.